Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Monique Martinez with your Tuesday edition of FSU weather. It's been a very warm yet gorgeous day here in Tallahassee. It's even more gorgeous at Doak Campbell with some slight cloud cover, currently sitting at 94 degrees with some light winds coming in at 5 miles per hour. It's still relatively warm in the Big Bend. As you can see right here, we have temperatures stretching from the low to high 90s, 99 in Monticello, so it's still pretty warm across the board. Now for our radar for Tallahassee, we have some onshore moisture coming in off of the Gulf, and you can see right here in Port St. Joe we have some active weather and lightning currently happening right now. But for today's show, we have our heat increase that will continue to rise throughout the week. The Southwest will finally get some rain, and today is the official start of summer solstice. All that and more on FSU weather. And welcome back in on this Tuesday edition of FSU weather. We have a great show planned for you today, and Doak Campbell looks really great. However, those temperatures were not so great today. These temperatures aren't coming through right now, but as we saw before, it was 94, so that high is well above average at that 91 temperature range in 2009. Now for our current temperatures across the Big Bend, we're very warm, sitting at 94 in Tallahassee, 99 in Monticello, 93 in Quincy, and 96 right here. So it is very warm, and we will expect it to continue to be that way throughout the week. Now for our current dew points, we are seeing some moisture around this area, but those dew points aren't too close to those temperatures. So it's not too humid, and we actually do have relatively low humidity values. You can see right now our temperature in Tallahassee is 94 degrees, but that dew point is 67, so still pretty comfortable right now. Now for these heat indices values, this is our feels like temperature. Right now it feels like 98 in Tallahassee and 116 in Monticello, so I'm so glad I'm not there right now because that is extremely hot. Now for our radar, we see some moisture and some activity off of the Gulf right here. Port St. Joe has some lightning strikes happening right now, but relatively it is clear in Tallahassee for us. Now for our wind speed and direction, you can see we have that flow coming in from the Gulf right here, moving towards Apalachicola. We have some light winds coming in right here and 5-mile winds coming in at Tallahassee, so not too windy and not too severe. Now for our dog walk forecast, if you're going to walk your dog or your cat, you can see that it will relatively warm up throughout the day. So by 11 a.m. it will reach 91 degrees. So I would say if you're going to walk your furry friend, be sure to be mindful of that, and the pavement is still pretty hot right now, so if you can, just walk them in the grass to be mindful. Now, as you can see, as the day progresses, we'll have that onshore moisture coming in from the Gulf continuously, and then we'll see some winds pick up a little bit as we move into the week, but that wind will stay pretty much at bay until about Friday, I would say. Now for tomorrow's temperatures, we will reach 102 in Tallahassee. Can you believe it? 102 degrees. And it's not looking much better across the Big Bend. All of these temperatures, with the exception of St. Perry right now, will reach the 100-degree mark. So be mindful of that when you're walking outside. Make sure you have that water on hand and you're really being mindful because it's going to be really hot. Now for our 7-day forecast, we'll give you a look. Wednesday and Thursday, it will be 102 and 104. So it is very hot with low rain chances. Now we'll get some slight relief on Saturday and Sunday with a 60% and 40% chance of rain. And then Monday we'll also have that rain chance, but you can see it's going to be very hot as the week progresses. So be mindful of that, have that water on hand. But now I'm going to pass it to Brandon I'm going to keep going for a look at our southeast, my apologies, and we're just going to look and kind of bring it back and see what's going on in our southeast right now. So for Fort Lauderdale, you can see we have some cloud cover, in New Orleans as well. It's very cloudy in Atlanta and in South Carolina. So we're seeing that cloud cover come through, but not too severe right now in Tallahassee. Now for our current conditions in the southeast, 94 in Tallahassee, 97 in Montgomery, and you can see it's very cool, relatively speaking, in Miami at 86 degrees. Now for our current dew points across the southeast, it is the same story across the southeast. We are seeing those dew points that are pretty comfortable and not too close to those temperatures, so we will not see that humid weather moving forward, thankfully. Now for our heat index across the southeast, 101 in Montgomery and 105 in Memphis. 92 in Tampa and 98 in Tallahassee. So still very, very, very hot. And we want you to be sure that you're safe in this hot weather, so be mindful of those temperatures as they rise throughout the week. Now for our southeast radar, you can see we have some onshore slight activity going on in the Gulf right now, and off of the Atlantic we may see some scattered storms pop up in New Orleans and Tallahassee possibly throughout the week, but we're sitting in the clear right now. Now for this map right here, we're showing that that upper level water vapor activity, and you can see that counterclockwise flow kind of moving towards the Atlantic, from the Atlantic to Tallahassee, but it's still pretty dry out in the southwest, and some light cloud cover is giving us that relief and not really providing that humid weather, but we're staying pretty clear here in Tallahassee. Now for our wind speed and direction, we have light winds coming in at 6 miles per hour in Tallahassee, and it's even gustier by the coast in New Orleans. Now for tonight's forecast in the southeast, 77 in Tallahassee, so we will cool down a bit, thankfully, so if you want to take some activities outside, tonight would be the time to do it. Now, right now we are at 72 in Orlando. They're slightly cloudy, but a little cooler than they were earlier, and 78 in Tampa. Now for our 3-day outlook, we have our highlight city for today, which is Charleston. We're going to progressively cool down, thankfully, in Charleston. They will reach 87 on Friday with a 20% chance of rain, but as you can see, it's going to be very, very, very hot on Thursday. Now for tomorrow's forecast, we will still continue to be hot in Tallahassee, 102 in Tallahassee, and 90s across the board for much of the southeast. But now I'm going to pass it off to Brandon for a look at our national.
Yes, and we do have quite the amount of things going on nationally as we go across the country. So let's take a look at right now our current temperatures. And here they are. Most of the country is in that heat dome right here, all across central, east, central U.S. Temperatures into the mid to upper 90s in most places. A little bit cooler, they're enjoying 70s up in Seattle and Billings, and a little bit warmer as you go a little bit more south, 85 in Salt Lake City. So hot conditions pretty much almost everywhere in the country. And the heat index, coupled with that dew point, is reaching the triple digits in Kansas City, Memphis, and San Antonio. So that feels like temperature is reaching those excessive levels. And right now, we can see these fronts are going to be causing some of the weather today. So we have this cold front that is stretching from the Oklahoma all the way up into Canada, and then that warm front coming all the way back down through the northeast, bringing some rain to the northeast, and we have that slight severe risk for places such as Kansas and Iowa today behind that cold front. And a little bit to the west, we'll dive deeper in this a little bit later, but we have that monsoon season is starting in the west. But our current ridge right now, so it's right over the central U.S. pretty much. It has not backed away anytime soon so far in the past week, really. So here's the upper level high centered right over the Mississippi Valley. And so that is just bringing all those warm, moist dew points up here, and some drier conditions down the east coast a little bit. But that will be expected to moisten up as we go on through the week. But our active alerts right now, we have a flood watch and a couple flash flood warnings over in New Mexico as heavy rains are moving through the area, which is great for them because we're getting that relief from that extreme excessive drought they've been seeing and the wildfires. But with so much and so little time, it provides that threat of flooding. And a little bit back toward the east, we do have that excessive heat advisory in places such as Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and a little bit down by the coast as well, into Louisiana and Mississippi. And all these little spots in the gray, those are air quality alerts. So air quality conditions are not ideal. Could be hazy conditions, could be some ozone near the surface that are reducing that air quality, and people with such things such as like asthma might have a hard time being outside for those areas. Now moving on to our day one outlook. So here's that severe weather risk into the Kansas and High Plains. So we'll take a look at the northeast right now. where we do have some rain coming into New York and into New Jersey and Connecticut. Nothing severe there though, so no tornado watches or anything. And storms have not exactly kicked off just yet, but they are expected to between 5 and 10 p.m. local time. So be on the lookout for any watches and warnings that would be popping up for that time. And into the southwest, we see here's that flood watch, and all that rain is coming to the north. So that's a lot of rain for them in a short period of time, producing those flood watch conditions. And for tomorrow, we have that slight risk is going to be shifting over toward the east and to the northeast in places such as Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And as we go to the next 3 days, here's that ridge. The high pressure is going to move slightly back to the west and weaken just a little bit, and it will flatten out as you go to the north. Here's another little low pressure system that could help bring some weather as we go into next week. And here's that other low pressure on the other side of it, keeping some cool conditions as you go to the very, very northeast with temperatures around 70-ish into Friday. And for tonight, we have temperatures will be going around to the upper 80s, mid 70s in most places, and cooler up in the Pacific Northwest into the 50s. And for tomorrow, temperatures will ramp right back up again. Triple digits, upper 90s is the most likely temperature for you tomorrow. And I'll stick with you to talk about a little bit of what's going on with our drought conditions. So the western side of the U.S. is still seeing that extreme drought in most places, with an exceptional drought in the north New Mexico state. So they're getting that rain to hopefully help with those drought conditions. Not too bad over on the eastern side of the U.S. And dew points right now, they're pretty moist as you go into central the U.S. A little bit lower as you go into the east side, where the north flow is from the winds are from the north, helping to bring down that dew point, and drier as you go out into the west, places like Nevada and Colorado, and a little bit moisture here in New Mexico as they're getting that rain. As you go into the next 3 days, that rainfall forecast, there is that rain going to be kicking into New Mexico, causing that flood watch, and we have some more rain on the east side of the country as well, with rain right here into the northeast as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the summer solstice. So that began today. It was at 5:14 a.m. when the North Pole is at its maximum tilt of 23.5 degrees toward the sun. It's the official beginning of the astronomical summer in the northern hemisphere. And for Tallahassee, so it's the day that has the most sunlight hours. But for Tallahassee, our sunrise was 6:35 and sunset is 8:42. So it's 14 hours and 7 minutes of sunlight. So what's the difference between the summer solstice, astronomical summer, and the meteorological summer? So meteorological months are based on the average temperature combined with by climatologists and combined with the calendar. So summer is going to be June, July, and August based on the average temperature for those 3 months. Such as same with fall and winter, as winter has the lowest temperatures in those 3 months. So now I will go kick it back over to Monique to talk a little bit more about what's going on locally.
Yeah, Brandon, so as we've mentioned time and time again, it's going to continue to get hot, and we will see those temperatures in the triple-digit range on Wednesday. So we'll continue to warm up throughout the week, but thankfully we have that low humidity value, so we won't be too muggy and we won't feel that heat oppress us too much, but it will still be extremely, extremely hot. So currently right now at Doak, we are at 90, partly cloudy with some light winds coming in at 5 miles per hour. Our current temperatures in the Big Bend, we're at 94 in Tallahassee, a very warm 100 in Monticello, 93 in Valdosta, and 94 in Madison. Now for our radar, we're seeing very little activity, thankfully, for Tallahassee, but you can see right here, our neighbors to the west have some activity and some pop-up showers and lightning going on, and that will progress until the evening hours. Now for our future radar, we'll see some cloud cover come through, but we will see pretty light and active winds throughout the day and tomorrow. Now for our evening forecast, it's going to cool down significantly, thankfully. We will reach 80 by 11 p.m. and even cooler at 78 at 12 a.m. And for a quick look at our 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, we are going to continuously warm up throughout the week. It's going to get extremely hot on Thursday, and we will reach those triple-digit ranges. But be sure to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook at FSU Weather. Also, be sure to watch us on YouTube and follow us. I'm sure you're watching us on YouTube now at FSU Weather. And also follow us on Instagram, also at FSU Weather. Now I'll give you one last look at your 7-day forecast. As I mentioned, it's going to be relatively hot, so be sure to be weather aware, take necessary precautions with yourself and your animals, and be sure to be safe out there because it is pretty hot. Thank you so much for watching. I'm student meteorologist Monique Martinez. Have a great evening.